know where he stood in the rankings, but he was renowned for his throwing arm. They said he walked down to the yard. Some much younger men were out there throwing a pipe. He said, hey, let me have a look at it. And he threw it way past them. A top horseman, according to Thomas Jefferson, and a devoted student of sword fighting. Now, what I'd like to see someday in an alternate life is him duking it out with our director, Mark Wolfson, who became a fencing champion at age 15. I want to see Washington against Wolfson.
That would be quite the duel. I would like to like that to be on the Pac-12 network.
Oh, man, Mark would love it if we had some fencing of any kind on Pac-12 network. Jen Llewellyn and the Gym Dogs had their best vault rotation of the season. And now Utah will head to the vault, and you can see after Sage Thompson starts matters off, then you have the next 5 gymnasts who have a start value of 10. Thompson on Friday vaulted for the first time in her career because of Jillian Hoffman's Achilles tear and carved the 9.775.
Really nice, Yurchenko full. I like how she flared out her arms at the end. That means she dropped them down to the side to slow her rotation and find the landing. It's also just a nice artistic way to show off a little bit of flair on vault. You don't see that from everyone, but that was a nice start on vault for Sage Thompson.
And our first of 2 looks at Dia Moody. We'll also see her on beam. She had a 9.6 Saturday on bars, her low for the season. Her best came in the previous meet 8 days ago, a 9.875 at Oregon State. Freshman from Frisco, Texas.
She'll do this common connection here of a Maloney down to a Pac Salto. Very nicely done, and unfortunately doesn't make it over on the cast handstand, so she'll have to repeat that.
How much of a deduction is that?
It depends on what the judge wants to take. Technically, she didn't really break form, but it also takes a little bit more out of you, so we'll see if she can have the momentum to find the landing, and just a small hop back. A nice job for the freshman.
Good recovery by Dia Moody.
Yeah, so this dismount, or excuse me, this half turn that she was looking to do, you need to have your shoulders angled on top of the bar so that you can complete the half turn. It's a move she has done over and over and over again, but you're really trying to land it in the handstand, and it can be just as hard as some of those release moves when you're really focusing on landing in the handstand.
9.775 for Sage Thompson, thrust into the ball. Atlanta, her same score as on Friday. And now our only look today at Cammie Hall, the senior from Gainesville, Florida, a vault specialist.
And a little low on, high on the vault. So to get the best block that you need, your shoulder angle and your entry to the vault is critical. And she's had a few meets this season where she's been too high on. It's almost like she barely hits her hands. And she does a great job to sort of save it and not fall, but that'll be a sizable deduction in the vault that the Utes will hope to drop.
And that's rough when that's your only routine of the day.
Right, exactly. You know, you warm up, you've traveled, and she is an exceptional vaulter. Just needs to make sure to get that entry consistent so she gets the block that she needs.
9.625 for Dia Moody, quarter of a tenth better than on Saturday. And now here is Taylor Russin, the sophomore from Redwood City, California. Been in the bars lineup each of the past 5 meets. Been the beam line a couple of times as well.
Yeah, Coach Llewellyn talked about her quality on bars and that she just needs to build her confidence because the skills are flawless. And on Saturday night, one judge gave her a 9.95, really acknowledging how precise and beautiful the gymnastics is. We'll see if she can find the landing. And unfortunately, just a small hop forward, but that is the only deduction I saw in that routine. Everything else was so controlled and smooth.
Yeah, she had a breakthrough moment on bars a couple of days ago, 9.875. Her previous collegiate best had been 3 9.725s.
And she's just been unsure of herself. You know, she didn't compete much as a freshman, and so really just finding her way as a collegiate competitive athlete and growing in confidence with each routine like that.
Well, you mentioned the deduction, although Paul didn't sit. It's a 9.425. And now Lucy Stanhope, like Amelie Morgan from England. Matter of fact, she played a role in Morgan coming to Utah.
It's another Yurchenko 1.5. Nicely done. Didn't absorb that landing as much as you'd like to see. The forward landings, it's so important to bend your knees and absorb the landing. And she landed a little bit locked leg, which is every coach's nightmare. Everyone sort of holds their breath at that point. She looks fine and just had that small step back, but really nice body position in the air for the former international elite competitor for Great Britain.
Career high 9.95 3 days ago. That probably won't live up to that score. A 9.8 for Taylor Russell. And now here is Brenna Brooks. Second or 3 times we'll see her. Had a 9.775 on vault. Into the bars, lined up each of the past 5 meets. Season high 9.85.
She does a difficult connection there, that Shaposhnikova clear hip uprise onto the high bar, and she struggled. She caught the Shaposhnikova a little bit close, so had to muscle up the clear hip, which could be a little bit of a deduction, along with a short handstand. But what she does so well is find the stick on that double tap.
Well done, Brenna Brooks.
Yeah, I like how she opens up on that dismount. So this is a clear hip Shaposhnikova. She flings herself up to the bar and then has to catch and have the momentum to then go up into the clear hip circle. I think she was a bit shy of the handstand on both the clear hip and on the bail to handstand. So we'll see if the judges give her, or they'll deduct for missing the handstand, but we'll see if there are any additional deductions from her start value.
9.875 for Lucy Stanhope, and now here's our only look today at Jaden Rucker.
Check the height on that vault. I mean, exceptionally done. She can stick that. That's just about as well as you can do this vault. Gets the block that I was talking about with Cammie Hall. Jaden Rucker does it the way it should be done. It automatically propels you up, and then she has the correct rotation to land on her feet. Just excellent.
I'm disappointed we're not going to see her in her floor exercise tonight. She's getting a break because it's their second performance in 3 days.
Yep, and Tom Farden said they've got the depth in their lineup, and they want to give some other gymnasts opportunities to get some experience, because this is their 8th of 11 regular season meets. It's the time to both identify who will be in their lineups, but also at what position they will be in. So this is one of the last few meets. He said that they'll be experimenting with some different competitors.
A 9.85 for Brenna Brooks. That matches her season high. Here's Skylar Killer-Wilhelm. At a 9.85 on vault. Pair of 9.875 each of the past 2 meets on bars.
Woo, she caught that Pike Jaeger on the ends of her fingertips, but does a nice job continuing to her overshoot. She has a front giant half into her double tuck, and just the smallest slides forward. Really beautiful quality of gymnastics in her bars. So check her teammates. When they saw how she caught that Jaeger, you could tell they flinched like I did, and just an incredible job for her to continue into the overshoot. And then they are willing her to finish and grab that double tuck.
And a fist pump from Coach Cody Llewellyn. A 9.85 for Rucker in her lone routine of the day. And now here is Alexia Birch.
And Alexia sat out vault on Friday, just resting her for the meet today. She'll do that Yurchenko 1.5. Wow, incredible job finding the stick. The 5th-year senior is as excited as she should be. Really well done.
Has a couple of 9.9s this year. Career high of 9.975.
Again, it's so hard to find the landing. She has a tiny leg separation on the table, but from where the judges are, I never know if they'll be able to see it or not. And she does a great job holding on to that landing. would have loved to see her pull her heels together at the end. That's just me, who likes that aesthetic. But looks like she'll go 9.95. Excellent job.
9.875 for Skylar Killer-Wilhelm. And now here is Geneva Thompson.
Geneva has a new dismount this season that, you know, she thought she was done last year. Coach Llewellyn came, invited her to rejoin the program. She had been training a little bit by herself over the summer. And so it's just really hitting her stride with this new routine, or new end to the routine.
Season best of 9.875 in week 2. Career high 9.9 4 times.
So she typically finished with a full in. She was a little shy on the handstand, and she's added the double layout. Wow, just phenomenal positions on that double layout. Legs together. I'm not sure if, you know, that was technically a stick or a little bit of a hop in place. I know we harp on the stick over and over again, but there's so little margin for error, and the quality of the gymnastics is so good that, you know, it's one of the most visible deductions that a judge can take, and I'm going to call that a stick. I don't think her feet came off the ground at all.
I'll go with that. Geneva Thompson already had a 9.925 on vault. 9.95 for Alexia Birch. That's a quarter of a tenth off her career high. And by a half a tenth, her season high. Grace McCallum, a 9.9 on bars.
This is a different looking vault. The half on front, half off. Incredibly well done. She's had a sort of a college stick so far this season, but that was a nailed landing on that vault. It's called a servente after an Italian gymnast who competed it. So she half turn on the vault, half turn off in the tuck position, and does an excellent job finding the landing. I will say that her feet are a little bit flexed if the judges want to take that, but it looks like one of the judges went 10, and then the other one went 9.9. So
Servente, right?
The servente.
Not cerveza. Servente.
Not cerveza. She deserves one after that perfect vault.
9.925 for Geneva Thompson, although the public address announcer just said 9.95. And now here is Morgan Bowles. Our first of 2 looks at her. She had a 9.825 on bars on Saturday after career high 9.85 8 days ago at Oregon State.
And she is hitting her stride. She's someone that needs to continue to build her confidence. She has a great connection, difficult. Just all of her moves are going to be right off the bat here. She does 3 in a row. And so her bars goes the way of this connection. The blind full to the Delchev to the overshoot.
Wow.
Really nicely done. Overshoot was a little bit short of horizontal. But then this is also a new dismount for her. This double layout has caused her a little bit of grief so far. Let's see if she can rotate it around. Very nicely done. Just a tiny hop forward. Great to see her hitting her stride this point in the season. So she really is, you can tell between her and Geneva, she's a taller athlete, so it takes more momentum and rotation to flip that around, and just the tiniest hop. Watch her teammates erupt. They work so hard together and spend so much time together that these little victories really matter.
Morgan Bowles anchoring things on bars. We did get confirmation that our graphic, in fact, was correct. Geneva Thompson, a 9.925 on bars after a 9.925 vault. And Grace McCallum had a 9.95 on vault. And that was her season high by half a tenth.
Yeah, it is I talked to Tom Farden about how did they choose a vault for Grace. She joined the team in mid-November, and then it was Thanksgiving break, and they really only had a few weeks to figure out what vault she was going to do. She can do so many, and he thought, you know, they need to protect their legs. This is such a long season compared to what the elite ranks are, that it was important for them to find one that she could do well and safely for the whole year.
Yeah, such a long year for those Olympians. Grace McCallum with a 9.95, a new career high in college on vault. And a high five from Jimmy Pratt, and her teammates celebrate.